So Arindam, we are live. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Huh? And so before we actually start discussion with other people, I will introduce Arindam, and then we can actually get into discussions. Okay. If you want to join us for asking questions, you can use this link, uh, which I will be copy pasting in the chat section, and then so first, good evening, friends. Thanks for joining. Sincerely appreciate. Today we have with us Dr. Arindam Lahari. Arindam is CEO of Automotive Sector Skill Council. So he actually knows automobile sector or automotive sector in and out. And that is the reason I actually requested him to join our discussion today. And if required, we will focus our discussion on completely on what we can say automotive sector. But uh, as we also have Venki, who is my other panelist, if you have any questions for Venki also, because Venki is from Persistent Systems, and he has spent his life in IT sector. So too, we have to now diggage, biggies, one from automobile sector, one from IT sector. So I hope today's discussion will be a very interesting discussion. So let's jump into the discussion. So Arindam, over to you. I would like you to talk about yourself first, and then I would request you to actually give a short summary, maybe 3 4 minutes or 5 minutes, about where the automobile sector is currently moving and how you think that this sector offers real good opportunities, to our youngsters, so that I can actually uh, crop that clip subsequently after our discussion and play it as an independent clip on my channel.
Great.
So over to
Great.
you, Arindam.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Jere, for inviting me to be part of this great initiative. And good evening, Venki. Glad to meet you online. Um,
Likewise.
um, my very quick background, I did my mechanical engineering from Jadavpur University, Kolkata. Um, Always wanted to be in the domain of automobiles, and so independent of my rank in exam, etc., I jumped onto mechanical engineering because somebody said that if you have to be in engineer in automobile, mechanical engineering is the only path to get into it, which is completely untrue in today's context. But
Hmm.
anyway, we'll come to that later. And Then one of my dream companies was to join Maruti, and I realized that at that point in time, Maruti only used to only hire from IITs and IIMs. And since I did not go to an IIT, I thought, let me get into an IIM. Hopefully, I should be able to get into a Maruti. So I got into IIM Lucknow for my MBA. That was the only purpose. I thought Lucknow being closer to Delhi, I'll be able to get into Maruti. So that's how career counseling happened on those days. And and there I was in IIM Lucknow, and I was told that Maruti doesn't visit IIM Lucknow; it visits the other IIMs. So, so I had to literally go out in my summer vacation, reach out to Maruti head office, give my placement brochure, and ask them to come and attend. And fortunately for me, they attended the placement season in our campus that year, and I was one of the three people selected there, and that's how my career started with an entry into Maruti. Spent about close to about 4.5 years there, primarily in supply chain. Then went on to work um, in hardware assembly with a company at that time known as Altos, which was part of PCL Group, which used to make computers in India, like HCL. and spent about a couple of years there in SMT operations, surface mount technology operations. And then for the next 5 years, I was with Honeywell in the US, basically working on turbochargers and turbine technologies. Uh, and Then I wanted to desperately return back to India, so joined a couple of friends who had just started a company called Career Launcher. Joined them as part of the founding team and ran the company for about 12 years in education and training, primarily into coaching.
And now, how long you are with Sector Automotive Sector Skill Council?
About 5 years, but
Ah,
in between, another 5 years I spent with HT Media after Career Launcher,
oh,
which was to
HT.
set up the HT
Ah,
ventured
Hindustan
into
Times.
education, yeah, into
Oh,
education and training. So I was setting up that business for them in Delhi NCR for about 5 years, but then they decided not to
s-
continue that
uh,
business, so kind of moved out. And here
so
I am with
your career
Automotive
is very
Council.
interesting. You started with mechanical, and then went to management, then went to automotive, then went to Tata Honeywell. Then you went to not Tata Honeywell, just Honeywell.
Honeywell, yeah.
So electrical more into, and
Power systems, more than
yeah,
power
power
systems.
systems.
Yeah,
Then you came back. Then
yeah.
you did small company, and
In
then
today's world,
media.
it's a startup. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a startup or
yeah,
media,
yeah,
and now you're with the Sector Skill
yeah,
Council. Oh,
yeah.
fantastic! So,
And
so I think you have seen a lot of different sectors, and you can actually guide a large number of students. So the
sure.
primary objective of this entire series is to just have a casual talk, very cool talk with
Mm,
students, uh, allow them to ask any questions.
sure.
And we try to answer them to best of our ability.
Mm,
huh?
mm,
We also give a disclaimer to students that this is what we feel. It need not be the right answer, or it need not be the only answer.
and,
Okay, so
sure.
I will be discussing with you from time to time, but
Sure.
let's take a couple of questions if possible, and then Arindam,
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure,
would like
sure.
you to talk about how this automobile sector is also moving.
Automobile. Yeah, I'll do
Huh.
that
Be-
after that. Yeah.
Because the reason I am doing this is because the monologue sometimes becomes too
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nowadays.
No,
Attention span is not there. So let me take few people. Uh, so we have Amitabh Upadhyaya and Akhilesh Verma
yeah.
with us. So Akhilesh ji, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? You are not audible. You need to unmute. Akhilesh. No, you are not audible, Akhilesh. You need to unmute
I did
yourself.
BTech from JK Institute, Allahabad University
Okay.
in
So, and currently, what
1984.
are you doing?
Currently, I'm retired. After retirement in 2022, I am at IIT Roorkee in research
Okay.
project.
Okay. Okay. So, so I hope you are not asking for career guidance from Arindam.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So,
should be asking
no,
now, Mr.
yeah,
Verma.
yeah. So we should be actually coming to you, Akhilesh. But anyway, you could be a good panelist. So let's reach out to students and let's see whether they have any questions. Because so um, Amitabh, are you there? Deepak Sharma and Sakshi Swaran, you need to allow your device to connect. You know, otherwise you will not able to talk. So you can drop out and allow your device to connect. Your When you get into Chrome, you have to give that permission. You know, the Chrome or your browser will ask for a permission, and then you have to do that. I will also take UI. So Jiva, any questions from your side you would like to discuss? Hey Jiva.
What is your experience, sir?
You're, we cannot hear you. Means it's very very weak.
Faint.
Can you be a bit
Yeah.
louder?
Can you share your experience, sir?
About what? So tell me, Jiva, from where you are?
I am from Dindigal, sir.
Huh?
Dindigal.
Dindigal.
Dindigal from PSNA college.
Dindigal, Coimbatore, near
Bindigal.
Dindi.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. And what are you doing?
Sir, I am learning first year in college, PSNA college,
Okay.
from
Which
AIDS
stream?
department.
Which
AIDS
stream?
department, sir. AIDS department.
AIDS means which?
AI, data science.
Artificial Intelligence Data Science.
Yes,
AIDS.
sir. Yes,
Okay. AIDS. Artificial Intelligence Data Science. So what is your question? Jiva, what is your question?
sir.
Hey Jiva. Any question? I think there is some problem. I think I will just remove Jiva because then we can give others. Amitabh, do you want to ask any question or shall I remove you? No, I think he has also joined. Okay, let me take Nandini and Nivedita. So welcome Nandini and Nivedita. Nandini has dropped out. Why? Nandini, are you there? Nandini, अरे आज क्या हो रहा है? कुछ भी nobody wants to talk. Deepak and Nath Gopal, you need to allow your device. Amitabh,
Yes, sir. Namaskar.
नमस्कार अमिताभ. आप we were trying to हाँ
Yes, sir.
कहाँ से हो अमिताभ जी आप?
Sir, I am from Bhopal
Okay,
and I have been working in LNCT Group for last 21 years
okay,
and I have done my PhD in chemistry from Bikram University, Ujjain in
okay,
2000.
okay. 2000. So
Yes.
what is your question? What you would like to know from the panel? We have Anindam
sir.
today, our special guest, and then we have Venki also.
Yes, sir. I am very thrilled to see and listen
No,
so
that's
many
okay.
experience.
That's okay.
Yeah.
but you have any specific comment or question from your side?
जी सर, मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगा
हाँ,
कि आज के समय में जो मोबाइल फोन है
हाँ,
वो स्टूडेंट्स को उनके गोल्स की टुवार्ड्स फोकस करने में एक बहुत बड़ा डिस्ट्रैक्टर ये बोल सकते हैं, एक बाधा है, इंटरफेयरिंग रेडिकल के समान। तो इसमें अपन कैसे उन्हें मतलब बचा सकते?
अरे बाप रे, ये करियर रिलेटेड थोड़ी क्वेश्चन है, बट ठीक है. ओके, सी आपको पता है कि नहीं है, मुझे मालूम नहीं है. आपने रिसेंट न्यूज देखा है कि नहीं कि फेसबुक ने के ऊपर 40 स्टेट्स ने, यूएस स्टेट्स ने लॉ सूट फाइल कर दिया है. वेंकी, आर यू अवेयर? Yeah, day before yesterday, 40 states have filed
Yeah, that's correct.
lawsuit
For
against
phone addiction.
Meta for phone addiction only. And I have not seen those documents. I really want to see those documents. They have released, some insider has released a document saying that company actually tried compromising safety over profits. So they had some internal study where they said that few things were getting addictive. Okay. But that was generating profit for them. So they tried to suppress that those documents. And actually, so there is some lady who is a whistleblower. And based on that document, actually, these states have filed a suit against Meta. So coming back to your question, I don't know how this question is related to career guidance for students, but what I can say is that certainly, yes, it's a distraction. Undoubtedly, I am also struggling at my home with the same problem. My son, who is doing MBBS, and my daughter, who is in school, they have a huge problem. Lot of fighting is there. We have, and every day my wife is scolding. But having said this, what we need to figure out ways to actually ensure that we use these tools to our benefits. And from AICT perspective, I will tell you, we are now very focusing on that. For doing all our assignments, for actually exploring how we can push students to use mobile for pedagogy. You know, because as per new education policy, you know, we have to use latest of technologies, and that is the reason we are actually pushing large number of colleges to have learning management systems, because now everything is hybrid online, right? Or a hybrid mode, so there is a lot of online component which is there. And if you have to have a good online component, it means you have to have a robust learning management system. And if you have to, and and if you have a good robust learning management system, then yes, the videos will be available at fingertips with the students, and students can actually go ahead and use them. Apart from that, we are actually tying up with few companies, edtech companies, to explore how we can get into personalized learning. One, so delivery at personalized, because mobiles could actually help in personalized learning in really good way. My rate of learning will be very different than my friend's rate of learning. you know and if we have an AI tool built into these technologies, then the entire syllabus or the entire course, along with questions, could be paced according to my ability to learn. You know, and from that perspective, if we have right kind of tools developed with us, we these mobiles or tablets or these handheld devices could be of immense help. So we have also tied up with companies to explore how these tools could be made. You know, apart from that, I don't know whether you are aware. Last about a couple of weeks back, AICT went ahead and announced one student, one laptop policy. You know, I know it's slightly digressing, but the primary objective is that itself. Okay, now we cannot have students, or we cannot teach students without latest technologies, and we want them to use latest of the tools which are out there. you know so one student, one laptop, officially we went ahead and declared that policy. Apart from that, in our approval process handbook from this year, means last year, we have that process is already out. We have told colleges that now they need not have all these drawing labs, first year, because engineering drawing Johanna, and every lab, every college should actually now shift to CAD CAM based, because now nobody actually uses T's and those kind of things. So so what I wanted to convey from all this is technology is imperative. What we can do is that how we can go ahead and use these technologies. So at your college level, you come up with some kind of LMS which will help push videos, and which will help students use mobile for that. Apart from that, at AICT level, we are certainly doing it. Anyway, I hope this answers the question to some extent. But now again, we will go to a small monologue from Arindam, because I think there are no automobile still related questions. So, Arindam, we had circulated our this across the colleges. We have large number of students also joining. I don't know whether you can see them or not. But none of them. So Deepak, Vijay, Malti, Matheshwaran, Mohammed. See, you have joined the studio, but you need to allow your device to connect, So you have to give permission to your browser. Otherwise, you will not able to speak. Okay? And and if you are not going to speak, then please watch this video on YouTube. Don't just be in the studio. So I'm kicking all of you out. If you want to join by giving permission to your browser. D- just don't occupy the space here. Okay. So Arindam, go ahead. So what do you think about automobile sector? How EVs are going to change this sector?
Yeah.
I don't know today whether you checked Adani Gas, Total Gas shares have come down drastically. I don't know
Markets
whether
are anyway in a topsy-turvy now.
yeah,
So.
but yeah.
No, but I think so just to give you a background, automobile sector is a very, very important sector. In fact, it is the
Deepak
most
Sharma,
important. Okay.
last warning for you. If you will not allow your device to connect, then I'm going to ban you. Okay? You are just occupying my studio. Sorry, go ahead, Arvind.
Yeah. So, just to give you a background, quickly, automotive industry in India is a very, very important industry in the whole context of the numbers and how it shapes up in the overall scenario. It's currently the overall fourth largest automobile market in the world. So that makes it a very significant, a participant in the global automotive industry. Um, Within India, it's close to about 40% of the manufacturing GDP contribution coming in from the automotive industry. And it employs close to about 3 crore people directly or indirectly in this particular industry. So there is a lot of opportunities in this particular industry, and the good news is that it's growing also at a very rapid pace, about 15 to 20%. In many segments, within the automotive industry, there are multiple segments because of the kind of vehicles we are talking about. While we talk about automobile in general, but there is two-wheeler segment, three-wheeler segment, four-wheelers, commercial vehicles, within which you have light, medium, and heavy commercial vehicles. And then you have special vehicles, which are related to, let's say, infrastructure, equipments, etc., etc. So all of these make a very interesting amalgamation of the various technologies available across different streams of engineering. And in today's context, if we look at how technology has evolved in the automobile industry, we see that it has moved from being a mechanical device to being an electromechanical device to now a very computing device, so to say, because everything is kind of chip controlled in terms of what the vehicle does. Whatever we used to do in mechanical system, which is either pneumatic system, fluid driven, or pneumatic air driven, or hydraulics, fluid driven. These are mostly controlled by sensors, electronic control units, various hardware that goes into the system, and also a lot of software into the system. Uh, Recently, we've been grappling with this issue that mostly people have to wait for vehicle delivery from 6 months to 12 months. It's just that vehicles were being produced, but the issue was with semiconductors. And suddenly, automobile is now the number 3 in the world to use semiconductors in terms of the capacity that the whole semiconductor industry uses. The topmost user being mobile, and then you have the computing devices, the laptop
Yes.
computers, and the third is the automobiles, which uses the semiconductors, the chips. So it's a very interesting domain, no matter which field of engineering you belong to. Even if you are in chemical or metallurgy, there are very, very significant and exciting work being done. Talking about electric vehicle mobility, I would say electric vehicle mobility has broken the monopoly of IC engines. So
Hmm.
that's the news. But having said that, only electric vehicle is not going to be there. There will have to be many different kinds of fuel factors which will be there. So you have fuel cells, you have hydrogen powered vehicles, you have now flex fuel engines, which is ethanol powered, biodiesel powered, a whole bunch of, and within electric vehicle, the battery technology has many devices. So while it is lithium ion, sodium ion in today's context, Toyota is already very close to launch
Hydrogen.
commercial version of, no, solid state batteries now,
Solid.
near solid state batteries, in terms of the energy storage. uh, of course, hydrogen is there. Hydrogen also has two different streams of development happening right now. One is on fuel cell, the other is on using hydrogen as a fuel in an IC engine itself, which is also another opportunity that has opened up. So, from an engineering, standpoint, this is one of the most exciting industries to be part of because it's a confluence of so many different technologies. And if you have to be part of this industry, you need to have a multidimensional perspective. While you might be an expert in one domain, but you need to have a multidimensional interest, because unless you can converge all of these technologies into this piece of an equipment called an
So,
automobile, you
Arindam,
will.
do you believe that now chemical engineers have far more opportunity in this sector than it was earlier?
Yes, I mean, I think the variation is wide. As far
Hmm.
as chemical engineers is concerned, there was always, because paints was always there. There was, plastics. A lot of plastics go into the vehicle. Rubber goes into the vehicle. Tires itself is such a fascinating piece of an equipment in the car. There is so much work and technology that is happening around it. So chemical, metallurgical, definitely, I think the importance has gone up significantly because alternate material, alternate processes of using some of these chemical compounds are being very, very actively used in the automobile industry.
Because now the concept is that entire automobile is an IoT, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Car is itself as an IoT device.
yeah.
That's the concept which is now getting mainstream, right?
And it's a complex IoT because it's a
Yes,
mobile IoT exposed to weather conditions and everything else.
It's a
right,
mobile
right.
computing device actually,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
mobile.
without a screen. Maybe not with the screen.
Yes,
yeah. No, even with
without a
the
screen.
screen.
Oh, with the
Now,
Yeah,
screen as
now
well.
we have
Yeah,
large,
on the
large
maps and other things.
display.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I think the display units are one of the
yeah,
biggest. It's getting bigger and bigger in a car.
yeah.
right.
I am sure maybe in future, if autonomous comes in, you could have a whole windscreen
Yeah,
which is
entertainment center
actually
can
a
be in the
curve.
car itself. Yeah,
Your whole windscreen can be a curved display unit,
display. Yeah.
because you don't need to see up front because your autonomous car is driving it.
Yeah, that is soon going to happen. Yeah, I agree. So we have Tamil Selvan and Surya SP. Large number of students are trying to join, but somehow I think they are not connecting their devices. I don't know why. Today we never had this problem. This is very unique for today. So Tamil
No,
Selvan,
I think Abhay, you may want to tell people that they can watch the videos on YouTube.
But they
rather
Yeah.
can
than
send the
just
questions
view.
on chat also. Maybe we can pick
Yeah.
up some questions from chat
You
as
can pick
well.
up
if
questions
they
from
want.
chat.
yeah, Deepak. Deepak Sharma, you are chatting. So why don't you type your question? I can take your question from chat. Okay.
Yeah, and
Mean
you can leave the panel here, right?
yeah. So Hasini Raga is another person who has joined. Hasini, please unmute yourself. So Deepak, can you just type your question? Because we have many people, but somehow I don't know what's happening. Tamil Selvan, do you want to speak? Hasini, I don't know why these people. Okay, we will continue with our discussion. Arindam. So
Yeah.
Arindam, so do you think that Akhilesh, do you want to say something? Or do you want to ask anything?
Please continue.
Okay. So Arindam, currently in India, if you really look at automobile sector, you see we have approved up to ADAS level 2, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
But there are four or five levels of ADAS.
Yeah. 5 levels.
5 levels of ADAS. So, do you think in near future we are moving in that direction, and how much time you think we will take when we will have actually approval for all 5 levels? I'm very curious
Yeah,
about ADAS.
tricky. Yeah, tricky. See, my personal view would be that level 5 is not dependent on technology alone. I think there is a very strong factor about the legality of using that kind of a level, which is like a fully autonomous. It may happen in certain use cases. I have read, I mean, I know about this particular
But in India,
experiment.
where
which
you
is-
get vehicles coming in the
Ah,
line from
no,
opposite
but
direction.
there are use cases where it can be done very well. You know, there is a very good use case which has been done in Delhi airport. You see these pushback vehicles in the aircraft, which
Right.
today pushes it back from the terminal building out to start moving towards the runway.
Right.
That vehicle is driven in today's context. They have already experimented with a fully autonomous vehicle, which is electric, and they have also started carrying the aircraft right till the entrance point of the runway.
Okay.
So the aircraft doesn't burn ATF till the time it reaches the point of entry to the runway, which is a huge saving also, actually.
Right.
And the whole thing can be done on an autonomous format. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then you can look at fully autonomous use case of campus movements. So one of our OEM actually has in their own campus these golf carts, which have been now completely autonomous, made completely autonomous, which means you just go in, sit in the car vehicle, give it a command which building you want to go, and it takes you there, and there you can just ask them to go back to the home. So you don't have an issue that you have to employ somebody to drive these golf carts around you. So these are very interesting use cases which are developing, and I think ADAS level 5 will be used in that kind of a controlled environment and not in a public road, which seems very difficult with the current legal
But what do you
framework.
think? We can go at least up to level 3 in India, or that's also very
Level 3
difficult?
should be possible. Level 3 is manual overrides. I think
Right.
there are already models in the US and other places where it's been found to be working pretty okay.
So level 3 is like cruise control, right, Arindam?
Yeah, cruise. It's a cruise
Adaptive,
control
no, adaptive cruise
with a
control
little
enables.
it's
It looks
slightly
at the, I
more
mean, it
than
does the
cruise
distance.
control.
Their proximity
Yeah,
sensor is
distance.
also there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
proximity
proximity.
sensor.
That is 2. That is level 2. Proximity sensor where the car
No,
applies
proximity plus
brakes.
cruise control. I think that is level 3, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. Arindam, you may be able to.
So no, level 3 is still going to have the steering. You will still be controlling everything as a manual process, but the vehicle can run where you want to leave the vehicle. So you can take your hands and feet off, but you can't, take your mind off.
Okay.
Is how they define it essentially. So
Okay.
at a level 3, at a level 4, you can actually take your mind off. It will prompt you when you need to intervene. And level 5 is where you don't even have an option to intervene.
Okay.
So that's the kind of change. But yes, it has level 2 is more as an assistant. It's a driver's assistant, truly speaking, essentially,
Huh.
up to level 2. That you are deviating from the lane, so it will help you stay on the lane. Emergency braking due to proximity sensor, etc. But beyond that, it won't drive on its own in that sense.
Anyway, I was curious about ADAS, so thanks Arindam for enlightening me on that. Now coming back to careers in automobile sector. So automobile sector is growing at an unprecedented scale, undoubtedly. But what do you think is an appetite of an automobile sector if of means ITIs vis-a-vis diplomas vis-a-vis engineer? If you have to put some ratio, because I get that question a lot from students that, sir, whether I should stop at after doing diploma, means my chances of actually getting a job are better at diploma level, or I should go for a degree level, and there I will have better chances. So what is your view when it comes to automobile sector? ITI versus
So
diploma versus degree.
So, one of the best things to also look at some of the Western nations which have matured as a market, and we take in automobile industry a market like Germany as a very good reference point.
Hmm.
So, bulk of the people working in the German auto industry would be at a diploma or a technical school level, essentially. Degree engineers are only required in the R&D engineering functions, where something new is to be created or something existing has to be tinkered with, essentially, which is where you need your core engineering skills. Otherwise, from a regular routine operation perspective, a diploma is good enough, essentially.
Okay.
So in terms of the Indian context, I would say at an ITI level, you basically are an operator technician level that you will largely be. At best, you will come to a supervisory level if you show that aptitude, etc. But beyond that, at a managerial level, it will be difficult for you to transition, essentially.
But Arindam, with the automation that is happening in the
Yeah.
manufacturing sector as well, do you see
Right.
that even these, the typical ITI skills, they also need to be up one level upskilled, right?
Of course. The way the curriculum itself and the focus of the content, today ITI largely is a fitter job role. I
Correct.
think a
You
lot
are
of
taught welding,
capacity
for
is of.
example. You may not need a welder, typical welder anymore, right? With
Yeah,
automation
you will not need a typical welder, but you will need to do welding by hand to know the process of welding, and then you upgrade yourself to robot. In fact, in automotive industry, we hardly have. At a OEM level, you really don't have any manual welding. It is all
Correct.
robotized in today's
Robotized,
context.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, you need to understand if the robo setups are working fine, etc. So, which is where I'm saying that diplomas have a very significant role, because diplomas bridge that gap between the operator and the engineer in terms of the operation.
So it would be more on the instrumentation side that you would need some of these skills, right? Especially when you're talking
Control,
about ability
control
to
system.
control the robots and stuff. Yeah.
So if you have to put some ballpark number, I know Arinda, I don't want to put you in a fix, but if you take these big automobile companies like say Maruti or Volvo or Hondas, TVSs or Tatas, for every engineer they hire, okay, how many diplomas they end up hiring and how many ITIs they end up hiring? If you
So if you
if you can answer, if you
Yeah,
cannot
yeah,
answer,
yeah.
it's fine, fine.
So I may not be able to give you a very exact number, but I'll give you a
That's
sense
okay.
of it essentially.
Right.
So if you look at very large companies like these vehicle manufacturers, the number of engineers to number of diploma engineers will be maybe 1:1.5 or 2 at best, essentially. And then you have operators, which might be another, from an engineer perspective, maybe 3 to 4 times maximum, not more than that. But the fact of the matter is that automotive industry is a very tired industry. There are various tiers of manufacturing operation. The moment you go to tier 1, then tier 2, and tier 3, these equations change very rapidly. At a tier 3 level, you might need only one engineer in one unit and no more than that. But you may need hundreds of operators because everything has already been tested, tried, and fixed, and everything. It's just the routine task of producing. Uh, I mean, today
When you
we
say tier
have the
three, you're talking
advantage of.
about the auto components, right? Basically,
Yeah, these are all suppliers to auto
suppliers to the
suppliers,
auto.
auto ancillaries. Yeah. So the biggest, employment in the automotive industry is very pyramidical in nature. So you have the least number of employment in these auto majors. Then you have these auto suppliers, auto ancillary units, and the biggest is in the auto dealerships because you have a huge number of sales and technical service manpower that you need essentially for vehicles. So and there the requirement of engineers goes down significantly. It's more of diploma and more of ITI or just a technically trained person
Trained.
essentially. Yeah. Sorry, you are on
You're on
mute.
mute.
Venki, I was actually surprised when I was talking to a few people from the sector because recently we had Arindam at AICT and we had a few other people from automobile sector, and I was asking them about the pay packages and I was told that ITIs were getting anywhere between pay package between lakh to 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh per month. You know, Arindam,
Yeah.
is that the case for all?
Yeah.
I was really surprised when ITIs were getting so much. They were
When,
getting,
when
and diplomas were also getting equivalent, but the degrees were not getting that kind of pay scale.
No, these are not entry salaries, but
Right,
these are obviously experienced
Yeah.
people. A very
right.
good welder, very good machinist,
Hmm.
or a paint specialist. These are people who command a very high premium because these skills are very challenging. I mean, today I mean, there are many areas where we are struggling with the skills. For example, CNC programming.
Yeah.
CNC programmer is a big challenge,
Ah,
So if an ITI guy has actually learned how to also program, he can earn quite a lot. I mean, but
He
the
has the
challenge
domain
is
skill as
that
well as the computing skills in some sense.
yes. So those
so
kind of people are very high in demand.
So, Arindam, what you will suggest to our young diploma students, who are just passing out or, degree students,
Right.
that what they should do to actually remain more relevant in automobile sector? What kind of skills they should actually gain or work
Yeah.
on or achieve,
Yeah. So I think there are two layers of area or two kind of areas that I would want to emphasize on. One is the system level understanding of how automotive works, because automotive is about 10, 11 different subsystems. So you need to understand the subsystems. If there is a brake and wheel system, there's a powertrain, then there is engine or power source, steering controls, interiors, exteriors, etc., etc. One needs to have a very broad level understanding of the systems if you want to work in automotive, because all these systems are interacting with each other all the time in an automotive. And therefore, when you work, even if you are machining a nut in a brake part vis-a-vis somewhere else, you need to understand what is the difference between a nut failing in a brake system vis-a-vis a nut failing in a dashboard system, kind of a situation. So these are very important elements. The second is about manufacturing process itself, because it's a very manufacturing industry. You may be an engineer, you may be doing design, you may be doing testing, but you must have a very clear understanding of how does it get manufactured and maintained. So we've always learned in your FMEA or those kind of tools as to how do you understand that where can your design fail, in production process, in maintenance process, etc. And you cannot do that if you are doing only designing on a computer. You need to be hands-on. So you need to do the complete cycle of learning, which means that you design, you produce, and you see that it is getting fixed. The whole idea of dimensions, tolerances, because automobile is a very, very compact device. The tolerances are very tight. Everything that sits in. These are very important. And then if you are coming in from electronics or software side, the challenge is that you may understand the basics of that, but how can that impact in a mobility system like an automotive is very important. One of our biggest shortage area, which I think all degree engineers must know, is we don't have enough automotive software engineers. There are people who understand automobile, there are people who understand software, but there are very few people who understand both. And if they don't understand both, it's very difficult to do programs.
But Arindam, whether there are any specific courses on automotive software, like or especially
we
on
are
SWAYAM?
we are launching. In fact, there is an open source platform called AutoSAR, which is being adopted by more and more automobile manufacturers. And one must try and do a course at least in AutoSAR or some other automotive application software areas, which are very important. At least that gives them the idea of how the whole mobility process works.
And this is AutoSAR is an open source tool.
Yes, the open source platform for automotive software. Yeah.
So whether you have designed any courses which we can put on
We
SWAYAM?
have. We are working on the content. I think we should soon be ready. We are working with a few partner companies who are working on these areas, and we will be quite happy to share that as we.
So let's explore, Arindam, that how we can put these things on SWAYAM and make it available to large number of students as much as possible. Because as you rightly say, if we can train students on them and actually ensure that they are because automobile sector is contributing, is one of the biggest contributors to our GDP. So how much? 10-12% of our GDP.
Right now, I think it's about 9% or so, 8-9%.
9% or so,
and also about 8%, 9% in terms of exports for both components and vehicles put together. So.
So it's a very, 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 very important sector for this country, and the way it is growing, it is extremely promising. Anyway, we have Dhruv with us. Let's see whether Dhruv
there are
has
also some questions on the chat. We may want to take some.
So, do you want to take, Venki? Any of these
Let's
questions?
first maybe ask Dhruv if he's online. We'll ask him, and then maybe we'll take the
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
from the
yeah.
chat.
Dhruv, are you there? Because you had
Yeah.
opened your camera also.
Yes, sir.
So Dhruv, you are from which college?
Sir, I am from MIT RC Alwar.
MIT.
MIT
Okay.
RC.
MIT RC. Okay. Alwar,
Yes, sir.
Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Good. Thanks for joining, Dhruv. So what are you doing there?
Sir, I am currently pursuing BTech from Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning branch.
Okay, artificial intelligence and machine learning branch. And what are your plans for future?
Sir, I want to start a startup and own
You want to
business,
do
sir.
your own startup?
Yes, sir.
राजस्थान से हो तो कंपनी बनाने का है, पैसा बनाने का है.
Yes, sir. पैसा बनाना है.
सदा. हाँ, तो किस एरिया में स्टार्टअप करना चाहते हो?
सर प्लास्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज में सोचा है.
प्लास्टिक इंडस्ट्री में. तो प्लास्टिक
sir.
इंडस्ट्री का तो बहुत एप्लीकेशन है ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में.
हाँ सर, उसी से रिलेटेड सर कि और भी क्या प्रोडक्ट्स है वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर सकते हैं, और जो अब तक जो रिसाइकलेबल चल रहा है उससे भी और ज्यादा रिसाइकलिंग प्रोसेस ला सके.
हाँ, तो Arindam, do you have any comment to offer to Dhruv or any guidance for Dhruv?
Yeah, no, very good to hear this. So plastics is important. Recycling is very important, as you rightly mentioned. So one is, of course, you can do plastics, and there are various processes of using recycled material, reusing of plastics. How do you still give the desired strength on that part that you produce? So, and if you can think of some alternate materials, let me tell you, automobile industry is very keen to see more alternate material which can be more biodegradable, more recyclable material. There is very major work that is happening around using bamboo as a raw material for many of the plastic parts in the trims. Trims
Okay.
is what you see in the inside of a door, or that handles and stuff like that.
So what percentage
bamboo-
of vehicle is plastic?
uh,
5%,
difficult to
10%?
answer, right? Probably more value wise, because the dashboards itself are very costly and very
Okay.
fancy, and they are all plastic. So these
They're
are
all
Yeah.
injection
the
molded, right?
two dashboards. Yeah, they are injection molded. The
Hmm.
two dashboards and the major
Seats.
the dashboard and the two bumpers are
Right.
very large plastic parts, and then there are a whole lot of trim parts which are plastic in
Even
nature.
the seats and I think are plastic with, then the upholstery is only on top of it, right? No.
No, seats are sheet metal. They are
Sheet
sheet metal
metal.
frames, and then they have sponge, and then they have upholstery material. So in
So about-
plastics, Dhruv,
So
let me
about
tell
10 to
you,
20%. 20% you
huge
can say.
possibility,
20%
huge
about.
possibility. And you'll be quite happy to know some of our Indian manufacturers are actually world leaders in plastic
Oh.
parts.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I can tell you, if you want to visit a plastic manufacturing center in automotive in Nimrana, please do. There are a few plastic units in the Nimrana industrial area near Honda, which you can go from Alwar, not too far from there,
Yes, sir.
and see for yourself. And if you want, you can connect back to me or whatever if you need any help.
Sir, my father actually manufactured plastic products
Okay,
from injection molding machine.
right.
Sir, so my father
अगर
directly
तुमको प्लास्टिक में ये करना है, हाँ, और तुम अभी कर रहे हो
Artificial
AI
intelligence.
डेटा साइंस कैसे
Machine
कैसे
learning,
कैसे कर रहे हैं? क्यों ऐसा कैसे है?
नहीं सर, वो मेरा खुद का है स्टार्टअप. मतलब वो क्या सर, वो मेरे फादर सर वो डायरेक्टली परचेज करते सर रॉ मटेरियल.
नहीं वो ठीक है, तुमको प्लास्टिक में स्टार्टअप करना है. ऐसा
हाँ।
तुम बोल रहे हो, लेकिन तुम कोर्स एआई डेटा साइंस का कर रहे हो।
हाँ, machine learning
दोनों भी
का।
तुम्हारा ही चॉइस है। ये कैसा
हाँ,
है?
sir.
हाउ यू आर रिकंसाइलिंग बोथ दीज थिंग्स?
तुम्हें एक आइडिया दूं?
See,
Yes, sir.
Arindam's career is
AI
very
AI और AI और मशीन लर्निंग लगा के कोई नया मशीन बनाओ जो
हाँ।
प्लास्टिक्स को अच्छे से हाई टॉलरेंस में डेवलप करेगा।
Yes, sir. That is.
मशीनरी पे
Sir,
जाओ,
सर कि मेरा
डोंट
ये
डू
आइडिया है
प्लास्टिक पार्ट्स।
कि सर जो फर्स्ट ग्रेड का जो मटेरियल होता है ना प्लास्टिक्स का, वो सर वो रिसाइक्लेबल मटेरियल से नहीं बनता है।
नहीं, वो तो बेसिक प्लास्टिक से ही बनेगा, बट
हाँ, वो सर
रिसाइकल्ड
नेचुरल
मटेरियल
हेल्दी होता है सर।
प्रोग्रेसिवली यूज होता है, बट द मोर रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल you use, the strength goes down. So if you are putting like bumper or something where the impact force is can be large and it has to hold a certain amount of strength, you cannot use a whole lot of recycled plastic in there, because there will be a lot many points of fracture that can happen due to a high impact collision, essentially. So that those kind of elements will also have to be thought through.
You know, we had people from PNA's college, then we have many people from that college actually, 4, 5, 6. Then Diana, a huge number of people from that college. You know, are they completely flooded with those people from? Okay,
So
okay.
it's all
It's
Dindigul.
no, huh?
A lot of people
So
from Dindigul, right?
Dindigul. Lot of people from Dindigul. Then we have some people from Salem. I think we can start acknowledging them because it's already 21:54. Meanwhile, I will request Venki to take up some questions if they are there.
Okay, let me go to the private chat and see if there are any questions.
Right.
सर वन मोर
Yeah, Dhruv.
सर, ये फ्यूचर स्कोप्स क्या हैंगे सर मशीन लर्निंग के आफ्टर 2 or 3 years?
है? अभी तुम पूछ रहे थे प्लास्टिक का क्या करोगे, अभी पूछ रहे हो मशीन लर्निंग का क्या
Machine
करोगे?
learning is just starting, right? See, you heard Arindam talk about, just I'm talking about in the automotive context. We are just in, level 2. We have to go to level 3, level 4, level 5. All of them require a whole lot of machine learning. Without that, how do you even go up from level 2 to level 3? Okay, that is only in the automotive sector, EV sector. Okay, but you look at machine learning in other sectors like in healthcare, machine learning in banking.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of things to be done with fraud detection and so on. And then this whole new thing that has come up in the last 1 year on generative AI, which is about creating content, right? There's a whole lot of scope there. The possibilities both on the positive side, there are content being created. Now, how do you make sure that that content is actually not violating any intellectual property? It is not fake. All those things have to be now, tools and technologies have to evolve to be able to address those. So it's a whole lot of new things, challenges that will come up that need. So the scope is just, you're just scratching the surface right now. It will just explode in the coming years.
Yeah, it's going to really explode. But Venki, there's a very interesting question from Deepak Sharma. He is talking about space sector.
Space sector.
But I want to actually join our discussion today, means actually take leave from our discussion today. So Arindam, I just want to ask, just pick your brain if possible again. Do you think that the growth of our system, what we can say automotive sector, is directly or indirectly going to give a huge push to even space sector?
I think
because nowadays cars are getting into a lot of aerodynamic things are happening, a lot of IoT is getting a lot of, and these kind of, although both these sectors are pretty different in a sense, but so because
see the amount of physics and precision you need in space is far. I think it is 2 orders of magnitude higher than
hierarchically, in auto industry, we say that whatever comes into space industry over a period of time, many of them percolate into aerospace industry, or aviation industry.
And then to
many of them then come to automotive industry.
okay.
Correct.
So that's the hierarchy.
So that is the journey of Saab, what you are talking
Yeah.
about. You know, this first started making jet engines, and then they eventually made cars. You know.
Yeah.
No,
So,
but
so
that is the way it has to be, right? Because
It has
the
to.
tolerance for errors in space versus space industry versus aviation versus cars. I mean, that itself there's an order of
Yeah,
magnitude.
but I think currently,
plus
if you
thermal
really look at the
management,
precision,
alternate material, all of
yeah, but
this is very important.
earlier it might have been true, but even now, if you check with the precision at automation industry or automotive industry, which you require, is now very high. I don't think.
But for aircraft you need much higher, right? See,
Right. I
Automotive
agree.
is more repetitive and at volume, so that makes it more complex in one way. But
Right.
there the volumes are much lower, but your actual tolerance is much sharp,
Yeah.
much smaller.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of our auto component industry people who
Yeah, because
work
now,
on
that was what.
aerospace and space.
Yes, they are now suppliers to both of them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of our major, promoting companies, started as an auto component company, moved to aerospace, is today a supplier to Boeing, etc., and now also supplies parts to ISRO. So as a tier 1 supplier also. So they've made that journey. So there are people who are moving in that direction as well. Essentially.
So this is
I
Deepak
think there is
answer
one
to your
question for
question.
you. Maybe I'll just read it out for you. Jiva
me?
has asked, what are the current challenges and opportunities for professionals in the automotive aftermarket and servicing sector?
And servicing sector. Yeah, very good question. I think automotive aftermarket is itself an industry, because it employs such a huge number of people. And let me tell you, first things first, that globally there is a huge shortage of skilled manpower in the automotive aftermarket. Markets like Japan, Europe, US, Australia are struggling. There are only 45 countries which make automobiles. But the rest of the countries, which is up to 200 plus countries, everybody uses it, and they need car servicing. Automotive aftermarket is there. So there is huge challenge globally to meet such people. I think the way the nature of the automotive aftermarket is moving is that, again, it is the same in terms of technology. So today, the typical view of an automotive service was get under the car and look for what is wrong with the car. That doesn't help in today's context. You have to plug in your laptop, run your diagnostic software, understand the error code, and go and find and fix it. So diagnostic skills by using of diagnostic softwares is one of the key challenges in the automotive aftermarket today, because you have mostly traditional manpower in that segment who wants to observe or visually diagnose problems, visually or basically using your own senses, human senses, to do servicing. कार में आवाज कहाँ से आ रहा है, स्मेल कहाँ से आ रहा है, these kind of things. But today you have to completely go into software driven solutions, except for some core mechanical parts. And therefore, it is a huge opportunity for youngsters to get into this space and make a global career. Globally in Europe, if you are a good aftermarket service guy, your starting salary levels at apprentice level in Indian currency is between 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs. If you are an apprentice service technician.
So,
and if you know a little bit of hybrid and all, it can go up to 5 lakh Indian rupee equivalent.
So, Arindam, I want to actually specifically take this question forward, and I want to ask how Sector Skills Council, your Sector Skills Council, is actually helping in this regard. Because I also want you to elaborate, because students who are keen on pursuing career should approach your Sector Skill Council,
Sure. So I think we work on two particular methods. One is to create more awareness among various learners. So we have a bouquet of free learning material which is hosted on our website so that people start getting awareness, and we get it from directly from the manufacturers themselves. So our hybrid electric vehicle course is from Toyota. The basics of electricals, electronics, etc., is from Volvo Eicher. So that way we have these courses and programs, which is largely to ensure that people are aware of what changes have happened and how does the modern automobile work, essentially. The second is, then if you are interested further, then we connect them to our network of training centers, which could be in a college, which could be in a ITI, which could be a standalone training center, which operate some of our programs which have been curated by our experts from the industry themselves, who understand what are the very specific areas of learning that one needs to focus on, and more on hands-on focus, because whatever we do is largely project-based learning, and you need to do a project, you need to do assignments to be able to complete a program effectively. And most of our programs also have a significant component of on-the-job training, where we connect them to the relevant industry organization, where they can actually get exposed to work in an environment which is actual. They may not still be able to get hands-on there because it's a live production system, but being there, watching it, observing it, soaking that itself makes a huge difference to the whole learning process. And this is what our Sector Skill is focused on. Sector Skill Council is focused on, in terms of ensuring that more people get a real sense of what they are getting into. The challenge is a lot of people don't get an idea as to what they are getting into. I mean, you need to get an idea of what you are getting into, and you need to really figure out whether you love doing this or not. If you
Very true.
don't, then you should explore something else. There is everything in the world that you can do, but if you decide to get into it, you've got to love this,
Yeah.
and you got to enjoy this. Otherwise, you will not succeed.
So we have Karthik and Shreyas with us. Shreyas, do you want to ask any question, or do you want to actually talk to Arindam?
Hello, sir.
Huh?
Actually, I'm from the basic sciences.
Oh, you are from Basic Sciences. Shreyas, so where you are
Yes.
from?
I am from Maharashtra, Latur, Varan
Okay,
Science
Latur.
College.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. So what is, do you have any question for Arindam, very specific, anything?
No, most of the program that I have attended is related with the, I think, engineering kind of base is there. So what about the basic sciences that we can do different things like that, with you?
So that's what Arindam was talking about. Arindam actually spoke at length about application of chemistry, in automobile sector, from batteries to paint technologies to, rubber technologies and so on and so forth. All these technologies require chemists in large number, basic scientists, chemists, they require in large number, and they hire them also. So that is where the real opportunity is. The most important thing is that your focus has to be in that direction, that what I really would like to do. So if you want to do project, if you are doing MSc chemistry or something of that sort, then if you have a project or an assignment, and if you take it from that sector, if you take a problem statement from that sector, then it's far more easy for the students to actually move forward in that sector. Okay.
Okay, sir. Actually, we are doing the synthesis. We are working in the synthesis, organic compounds like that.
Yeah, but
And it's biological.
but there is an opportunity even in that, So you are thinking about it, and that's what Arindam was saying. So what I will request you, Shreyas, I think you joined late. Okay.
No, sir. I'm since the last half an hour I was there, but I'm on YouTube. Just I have
Okay.
login here.
Okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. So what you should do, you should listen to this discussion, and
Okay.
you will get a lot of good insights. Okay. Huh?
A
Okay.
So we
lot of
also
work is
have,
happening on battery, so that's
yes,
chemistry.
yeah, that's complete chemistry.
Yeah.
Then
So most
All
of
the
the
ions and
physical
other things,
physics
everything
is
is all
also.
chemistry.
huh?
Yeah, physics
Yeah,
and
it's
chemistry.
electrochemistry.
Yeah,
It's
combination.
Yeah,
electrochemistry.
yeah.
Electrochemistry.
So Shreyas Agarwal is there. Shreyas?
Shreya. Shreya is there. I think.
Shreya Agarwal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shreya. Do you have any specific questions, Shreya?
Yes,
Okay,
Go
Shreya, where
ahead.
sir.
are you from?
Actually, I am from VIT Bhopal, Varanasi. VIT Bhopal.
VIT Bhopal. Oh, okay, good.
Yes,
And what you
I'm
do,
in
Shreya?
first year, sir.
Okay, first year.
My branch is ECE core, and I am a bit more focused towards software development. Like I'm working in front end, working towards my development of front end, and I'll be going to back end too after some time.
Okay.
Sir, actually, I had a query regarding Smart India Hackathon. Can I ask?
This is not the forum to discuss about Smart India Hackathon.
Okay,
Go
sir.
ahead, go ahead,
Okay, sir.
go ahead.
Okay, sir.
What is the query?
Sir, actually, our team had committed a really big mistake. Can we
No,
ask you something?
let's not. This is not the
Okay, sir.
forum to discuss all that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Shreya. Okay. Okay, so Arindam, I think I will ask you a last question because that discussion was very interesting when you said that large number of countries are actually they have shortage of manpower, and looking at service people or people for servicing or the servicing sector, and India could be one of the good suppliers of manpower in that sector. So just wanted to ask that whether these diploma students or ITS students or these degree students should pursue any foreign language along with their courses. So what kind of
Um,
package they should do? What
yeah.
which will enable them to move in that direction.
No, true. I think if you are
For example, if they
traveling.
have to, whether you have come up with some kind of a matrix, Anindam, that if you are targeting this company, for example, if you want to go to Germany, or if you want to go to Switzerland, if you want to go to Japan, if you want to go to Portugal, these are the tools in which you require expertise, and these are the language competency, and language competency up to this level. For Germany, it will be level 2 or level 3, or in Japanese level 3, something of that sort. Whether some kind of metrics is available.
So I think for the major countries which we are reaching out to today, like Germany or UK, Australia, Japan. These are some of the countries which come to my mind, top of the mind in terms of whatever skills are required. We also know that what are the top required skills which are relevant to the automotive. So typically, most of the countries, the highest number of requirements is in terms of aftermarket service technicians, body shop, which means people who do collision repair,
Yes.
and then you have paint
Right.
repair. Okay, these are some of the top-notch requirements. As far as manufacturing is concerned, people with knowledge in machining, welding, and assembly process are the top three, which is also the top three in the domestic market in terms of skilled manpower requirement. As far as various countries are concerned, I think the language proficiency requirement is typically about the work visa language requirement. So most European companies or countries will require a B1 visa for non-customer facing, and for customer facing, they will require a B2 in the language proficiency under the European curriculum framework, the language framework. as far as Japan is concerned, similarly, visa requirements for N4 and 5 levels essentially. And in IELTS, which is for countries like UK and US, UK and Australia or so, you typically need a 5.5 band plus for your work visa to be
IELTS.
IELTS.
Okay.
So these are the language skills and these are the core skills which are required. As far as core engineering based roles are concerned, I think there is a great demand for Indian automotive software engineers, people who have worked in automotive space and has software skills will be very heavily high in demand. And then there are requirements for design and test engineers who are conversant with various homologation processes, either to the European standards or to the necessary country standard, whichever country they are kind of looking at. essentially.
So what we can do, Narindam, whenever you are there in Delhi next time,
Sure.
I can actually
I'm in
invite you.
Delhi. I'm
Huh.
based in Delhi, so no
Okay.
issues. Yeah.
No, what I can do, I will actually invite you once to our AICT studio. You have seen our studio also,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And we can actually record some shots with you,
Okay.
where we take country specific requirements. For example,
I
and
think.
you can actually come and with a study that for Germany you require knowledge of these
Yeah.
3 tools, these 2 languages. It could be 30
Sure.
second shot, it could be not more than that, like
Yeah,
YouTube shot,
sure.
and if we can record maybe 10, 20, 30 such shots,
Hmm.
then they will actually go viral, and
Sure.
they will circulate a lot even over WhatsApp also,
Sure.
especially. So that we can certainly
I'll
do.
get that ready. Maybe give me a couple of
Yeah.
weeks time to collate
Yes.
all the information.
Right.
And once we are ready, we'll coordinate with your office and then we'll fix up something.
Yeah. I will ask Vikas tomorrow to get in
Sure,
touch
sure.
with you, and you
Sure,
can
sure.
actually schedule the things with him,
Sure.
so
Sure.
that
Sure.
we can do actually 2 3 first to start with how, and then maybe you and Vikas can decide,
Give some ideas.
because
Yeah.
whichever is best, because then you
Yeah.
can also circulate at your level and we can also
Sure.
circulate at our level.
Yeah.
So Venki, over to you for concluding remarks.
Today was a very good session. So thanks, Arindam, for enlightening all of us on this sector that we probably, at least I was not familiar at all. So thanks for that, and I'm sure people who joined the call would have benefited a lot. So we look forward to many more such sessions.
No, I will actually circulate this link across the country now.
Yeah. And we don't need, like Arindam, we need to have certain focused topics like this. Maybe you'll get better audience who are interested in that specific sector. Come and listen in, and also ask questions. There were a lot of questions around EV and even plastics, which are though not directly related to automotive, but they are part of the supplier or tier 1, tier 2 kind of a thing. But it really helped to get a holistic view of what this sector is all about. So thanks for that. I don't have anything. Back to you, Abhay.
So thank you, Arindam. Thanks a ton. It was a really interesting discussion. Akhilesh is there right from the start. He is listening to our discussion. So thank you, Akhilesh. More importantly, Venki, thanks a ton. You have been supporting this initiative. Now he is more or less my permanent co-panelist with me, and actually helps me answer a lot of good questions.
So I just have to learn how to answer the AICTE questions, which I don't know.
If you learn that, then मेरा भी job खा लोगे यार. मुझे बाकी तो कुछ आता है नहीं. So Venki, तुम sector का भी तुम्हारे IT
you
का.
should just put these things on ChatGPT. We will figure it out from ChatGPT.
So Venki, whenever you are in Delhi, you should meet Arindam.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
He gave a very interesting talk when we actually invited him to AICT. So at that time, I really liked the way he actually presented, and that is the reason I said, okay, let's have first session with Arindam itself. So there also with AICT also we started with automobile sector. Here also I started with Arindam. So thanks Arindam, thanks a ton
No, my
for
pleasure.
joining.
My pleasure. Dr.
Thank you.
Sincerely appreciate, and we would like to work more closely with you on
Sure.
AICT related projects and that kind of a thing. And whenever you have time,
Sure.
just let us know, and we will be more than happy to have you again here, because there are a lot
No,
of
we'll
things
be happy.
we have not touched. Even two-wheeler sector तो आज हमने touch भी नहीं किया,
नहीं किया.
So
Which is the
again, there are a
largest
lot of,
segment actually.
which is the largest sector in this country. So
Right. And one
maybe
thing,
next,
Abhay, we also want to do this. Since there was a lot of interest from this colleges in South this time, from
Right.
Chandigarh and areas. If
Right.
there are specific things related to that area, we may want to kind of address that also. Maybe that's one way to look at it.
right. करते.
But there were no questions that came up. They were just listening in.
No.
So maybe
I
we
think
should
many
do a few.
students are keen on listening.
Yeah.
That's what I realized today when Arindam. नहीं तो बग last time we get a lot of people used to come and talk, but today hardly anyone came and spoke. Actually, many people were keen on listening to Arindam rather than But anyway, maybe a next month or a next quarter we will call Arindam again.
Sure.
And we will take this discussion forward.
My pleasure. It will be my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Arindam. Thank you, Arindam. And I will
Thank you.
request all my viewers to like, share, and subscribe. Please share this link to as many people as possible. This so they can listen to what Arindam has said, and I assure you, they will be happy to listen. So thank you once again. Thank you, Venki. See you next Wednesday.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.